Adele, who came away the big winner from the 59th Annual Grammy Awards, which many had tuned in to see for the Adele-Beyonce Battle of the Greats. Here with more highlights from Sunday night is WSJ Senior Editorial Director Christopher Farley. Hi, Chris. Great to see you.
Thanks. And if this interview doesn't go well, I'm going to start it over again, just like Adele. I'm kind of taking a page out of her book. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's apparently a good lesson that we can just make mistakes and move on, right?
Well, I think James Hetfield of Metallica should have learned from that, because clearly something was wrong with his mic when he was playing with Lady Gaga. He seemed upset about it at the end because he threw his guitar. Yeah. You could see that in the footage, but he didn't learn from Adele. He didn't start it all over. He should have done that.
He should have stopped it. You're right. Now that's what he's thinking about. You're absolutely right. Now, Adele, of course, the big winner. Beyonce also was up there for, Lemonade. Was this just not Beyonce's year, or did Adele deserve to win?
Well, Adele's album didn't get the reviews that Beyonce's album did. It certainly had more sales globally than Beyonce's album, but traditionally, Adele's done really well at the Grammys. She tends to win the awards that she's up for, especially lately, and so she ended up being a Beyonce in all the key categories, all the major categories she could be up for, other than, of course, Best New Artist, which she couldn't win this year. She can't win that every year.
Right.
So, of course, Beyonce followers were very disappointed because Lemonade was seen as not just an album, but sort of a cultural thing, a cultural artifact. And so we'll see whether she wins it in the future. I mean, sometimes it takes a while for people to win these awards. Just look at David Bowie. Yeah. I mean, David Bowie had never won a musical Grammy before this year, and of course he's passed on. He passed on last year. Bob Dylan never won Album of the Year as a solo artist until A Time Out of Mind. He was already in his 50s.
Right.
So sometimes even with great artists, it takes a while for Grammy to recognize their brilliance.
And I feel it's worth pointing out that Adele and Beyonce, at least publicly, seem to like each other. I mean, people like to make a lot of the Diva Showdown, but they do seem to respect and support each other.
Yeah, it's weird that it always becomes a Diva Showdown when you're talking about women and entertainment. I mean, certainly no one was talking about a Diva Showdown between the quarterbacks and the Super Bowl. I mean,
exactly.
It was just a showdown.
And here's a little soundbite from last night to prove it.
The Lemonade album was just so monumental, Beyonce. It was so monumental and so well thought out and so beautiful and soul-bearing, and we all got to see it.
Always great to see artists supporting each other.
Oh, she said, yeah, you deserve it, but she's going to keep it at her home.
She'll
keep it at home.
That's right.
So.
All right, well, let's talk about Chance the Rapper, because here's someone who has no sort of mainstream industry ties, and yet the establishment is embracing him.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists, when they see his win and then they go on like iTunes or Amazon to try to buy it and realize, oh, I can't buy it, they're going to feel really old and really out of touch. Of course, coloring book Chance the Rapper's breakthrough album is available only streaming through Apple Music, and it's kind of a new business model that he's kind of pushing, where he doesn't really care about making money on his actual music. He makes it through merchandising, and he makes it through touring. That #3 hat he had, that's available for sale on his website for about $45. And of course, he won 3 Grammys, so it's even more appropriate.
Amazing. 3 Grammys, no less. The man won. That's fantastic. Now, tell us about that really cute moment with 21 Pilots and no pants. What was going on there?
Well, of course, they told the story about the fact that years ago they were watching the Grammys, they're all sitting around in their underwear, and they said, okay, if we ever win, we'll go up there just like we are now. And so they followed that through. But at first I thought, geez, what happened to their pants? Did Adele win their pants too? What happened to their pants? But of course, there's a good explanation.
Call the stylist, right? Now, of course, there was no lack of political commentary last night, and it seemed to get just stronger as the evening progressed, didn't it?
Yeah, it started off with Jennifer Lopez quoting Toni Morrison about the role of artists in turbulent times, and then it finished with dancers and performers who were with a Tribe Called Quest breaking through a literal and metaphysical and wall on stage. So
not subtle.
It wasn't that subtle. It was continuous. People kept dropping things about the pipeline, about Donald Trump. At one point, Busta Rhymes called him Agent Orange president. So there was a lot of political stuff going on stage last night, but that was to be expected. It was the Grammys, it was musicians.
Absolutely. And James Corden, what sort of reviews is he getting? He's certainly the comedian of the hour right now. Well,
I'll tell you, he is a comedian that's much beloved, especially for his carpool karaoke segments. Yes. I don't think he gets much love for his rapping, though. And I know my daughter ran out of the room when he began to rap. She loves him. not so much a fan of his rapping.
She said, stick to your day job.
Yeah, work on the rap skills.
Yeah, that's right. Now, those malfunctions were pretty funny, but they didn't, or the malfunctions we talked about earlier, didn't stop the performance. I mean, it's true that Metallica's lead singer obviously got a little upset, but Lady Gaga was phenomenal there.
Yeah, and also I think those kinds of mess-ups actually help the Grammys because they remind you, hey, this is live. Yeah. This is what music's about. It's raw, it's real. Sometimes there are mistakes. Sometimes someone like ADELE has to go back and do it again. But this isn't just something you can get, you know, just at your local club. This is something that's real. It's in your face. Deal with it, and please tune in. And please endure all 4 hours of the show.
That's right. In some ways, you could argue that's why people tune in for those moments, right?
Yeah, I think I binge-watched things on Netflix that seemed to take less time than the Grammys did last night.
All right, Christopher Farley, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.